What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Off the Battlefield podcast presented by Veterans Claim Servants. Thank you for your service to our country. We welcome all veterans, military service members, transitioning service members, and we hope that you get the help that you need and are put in the best position to get the benefits, resources, and everything that you deserve. Thank you again for your service to our country. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, share this out with someone that can use this help. So let me get right into it. Have you applied for a PTSD rating, right? Do you have PTSD? And did you submit a claim in for PTSD, right? You did your CMP exam, and then guess what happens? Or you provided an outside medical opinion, a nexus, DBQ, and a diagnosis, right? And then you get a second CMP exam. You get another letter from QTC Optum or VES, and they go, we want to do another CMP exam. And now you're frustrated, you're heated, you're mad, and you're going, why am I getting another CMP exam? I do not understand this. I just talked to these yahoos, and now they want me to come in for another PTSD exam, right? Let me tell you why that would be, right? It's because a second CMP exam is usually ordered for one of four reasons, all which are designed to help you. Okay. Not all CMP examiners are created equal. Remember, with the VA, there is a lot of turnover, right? There is sometimes raters can make bad decisions or mess up. There's a lot to learn with 38 CFR. Sometimes the examiners can jack up. Remember, there is no degree for CMP exams. Most doctors are going to school for their field of study and for, if it's psychology, chiropractic, whatever that may be, musculoskeletal, they're going for a specific area of study, and compensation and pension exams and filling out disability benefits questionnaires and writing nexus letters. I don't know that there's a degree for that or a 4-year university specifically for that, right? Because us as veterans in the military, and anybody who served in the military, is a far number compared to the overall, or is a far less percentage. It's a small percentage compared to the overall population of the United States and veterans spread across the world. So there's a few reasons, and I want to name number one. You had a bad first CMP exam, and the VA rater has requested a second opinion from a new CMP examiner because it just doesn't make sense. Remember, the VA has a duty to assist you. And if they didn't do everything for you and put you in the best position, or they screwed up that disability benefits questionnaire, by law, they need to do another one for you. Okay. Number two, you had a bad first CMP exam and you called the helpline to request a new CMP exam, or you said, bump this. I was only seen for 4 minutes. You did a higher level review and they requested another CMP exam for you. You can request a new CMP exam if you think you got a bad first exam. Know that you had a bad first CMP exam. It was not fair to you. You can call the 1-800-827-1000 to request a new CMP exam. You can request it if you think you had a bad first exam. They didn't have any of my records. The lady did not look at it, or man, they did not know what they were talking about. They were totally off topic for my PTSD and asked me totally things that were not relevant to what I was claiming. Number three, right? The first CMP exam was not accurate or complete. Sometimes the CMP examiner fails to conduct an adequate examination for rating purposes. In that case, a second CMP exam to correct the errors is especially important. And number four, the VA rater identified a duty to assist error, like I was just talking about. Maybe the first CMP examiner failed to address the proper medical etiology for direct service connection, secondary service connection, or service connection by aggravation. A second VA exam can help correct this mistake, right? The positive impact of second CMP exam for PTSD can be that for PTSD, it generally leads to a more favorable VA claim decision or helps avoid a VA claim denial, right? Common reasons for that second exam is usually ordered for one of those four reasons again: unfavorable first exam, veterans request for new exam, duty to assist error, and an incomplete or inaccurate first exam. The importance of an accurate assessment, veterans, listen up to this, is you want to make sure that you are in the best position to win your claim. You want to make sure that the documentation for what you are filing for is thorough, right? And that a thorough evaluation was done on your behalf. And that corrects any errors from the first exam, and it provides the VA rater with all the necessary information for a fair and accurate VA rating decision. So it's not always bad, right? You can say you don't want to go for a second CMP exam if they messed up, but again, you're doing that at your own risk. I'm not going to tell you to do it or not to do it. And then another thing is, really, you need to understand the nature of the PTSD claims, that you are going off of a stressor. I don't know how much time you have, but I talk about time all the time. Time is an enemy of veterans. A lot of us have sucked it up and dealt with it, and you're out and you got a lot of time and space, and you didn't get a lot of necessary treatment while you're on active duty or in the military, and that can come back and hurt you. So you need to make sure that you understand that PTSD claims require detailed documentation of your symptoms, their impact on daily life, and adherence to the DSMV standards. A second exam can address any inadequacies, in the initial assessment, such as improper documentation of PTSD stressor events or incorrect medical opinions for service connection. You veterans need to be as detailed as possible when filing for PTSD. Make sure that you have the statement in support of claim for PTSD, aka the 21-0781 form. Make sure that you are accurate. The veteran doesn't need to know 20 million stressors that you went through. They need to know your top two. They don't have time to look at 20 million different things coming across their desk. The top two stressors is what they want to address, and you need to make sure that they are your most significant, horrific, life-threatening, whatever it is that you dealt with, experiences and stressful events that you experienced in your life, and you need to be articulate. You need to name your unit. You need to name where you were. You need to try to be within a 60-day time period of date and time and location of where you were. The more detail that you provide, the more easy it is for the rater and the VA to verify your stressors and your symptoms. Make sure that you are up to date on diagnosis and treatment as well too, and send in all the evidence that you possibly can, right, to put you in the best position to win your PTSD claim. Some truths about a second CMP exam are, the examiner is required to confirm a diagnosis that conforms to the DSMV standards. They are required to give their medical opinion for service connection and document the severity of your PTSD symptoms, as well as how those symptoms relate to your level of occupational and social impairment. Sometimes the first CMP examiner fails to conduct an adequate exam for rating purposes. So let's say the first CMP examiner didn't give a correct medical opinion for service connection. In this instance, guess what? A new CMP exam is necessary, so the VA rater has all the information he or she needs to make a rating decision. Another example, too, is a CMP exam where the examiner didn't properly address your PTSD stressor event, which is critical to determining your eligibility for VA rating for PTSD. They need to do that. They need to do it. They have a duty to assist you. A second exam would require the examiner to properly document whether your PTSD stressor event is valid and severe enough to lead to the development of PTSD, right? And then some other common reasons for a second CMP exam: preemptive second medical opinion, your request, duty to assist error, and inaccurate or incomplete first exam, right? So you need to know, right? You need to know that if you had a bad CMP exam, call 1-800-827-1000 and let them know and go back, right? And how do you prepare for your second CMP exam, right? Gather your records and documents. You're your best advocate. Make sure that before you submit something, that you're bringing all the proof and ammo to the firefight. Create a PTSD diary and a log of your episodes. Keep a detailed log of your PTSD symptoms, noting their frequency, severity, and duration, right? That is very important so that you can say, this is what is going on and how are you impacted occupationally and socially. List your functional impacts, Review the DBQ for PTSD as well. It is publicly displayed. You can Google PTSD DBQ and you can read through the DBQ for PTSD and prepare for common questions. Don't be nervous. Be firm. Make sure that you're accurate when you're explaining. Make sure that you're sticking to your story. Make sure you're being honest and truthful and not over exaggerating, right? Make sure you are descriptive with your traumatic events and make sure that you bring a copy of the claim that you submitted to the VA to this exam with you to make sure that you say, these are the flashback nightmares and anxiety that I'm getting. This is what happened. Here's the traumatic events in detail. Here's the unit I was with. Here's everything that happened. Let them know how your PTSD negatively affects your relationships, work, and social life, and any history of treatment, including medications and therapy. Bring a support person, wife, battle buddy, somebody that knows what you go through, who is unbiased, and be honest and detailed. Do not over exaggerate, but do not downplay your experiences. Explain how your PTSD affects you when it's most severe. This honesty is crucial for an accurate assessment of your condition. All right, veterans. So today, those are some reasons why you got a second CMP exam. I know it's frustrating. I know you've been waiting. And I know that you're going, again, another CMP exam. I don't understand it. And also know that you can request a telehealth exam as well, too. It's a mental health rating. We're not doing range of motion. It is a subjective rating, not an objective rating. But make sure that you are honest, you're open, don't minimize, make sure you are detailed. And I always say this, if you submit everything in your claim packet on the front end, then you should be in the best position to get the results that you want on the back end, right? If they rate you low, you can do a higher level review and address that you disagree with the evaluation of the rating. If you have more evidence and you've been denied, make sure that you reach out below in the description of this video. Dr. Sharma, his email is here. If you need a nexus letter because you've been denied but have a favorable finding, if you need an up-to-date diagnosis, our doctors, I say ours, they're separate from me. We don't inject biased opinion into them. They can review your medical details, stressors, and events that happen and see if they can diagnose you with PTSD, because you may need an up-to-date diagnosis, and they can fill out the disability benefits questionnaire. Dr. Lopez, Dr. Sharma, their emails are in the description of this video. Veterans, make sure you understand all of this. Make sure that you're in the best position. Make sure you know why you received a second CMP exam. Don't be afraid. Don't be frustrated. Know that you've seeded the clouds. And when you get that rating, it's going to come raining down and you are going to get back paid, my friends. So keep at it. Don't give up. I know it's frustrating. I get it, but do not give up. Make sure that you're in the best position to win your claim and get the benefits that you deserve, my friend. Thank you for tuning in today. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for your service to our country. You do matter. Do not give up, veterans. Thank you for your service. And until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.